Welcome, baseball family, to a Thursday Night Live. I am Brad, and as always, I'm joined by Brig. Welcome, Brig. How are you this fine evening?
I'm great. How are you, Brad?
I'm doing very well, actually. Thank you. I'm excited for things to get back up again, get going, right? I mean, am I the only one? I assume I'm not the only one.
Absolutely not. We got baseball today. We got regular baseball games today that were makeup games, and it was really good. I was really pleased to be able to sit down and watch a game at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I didn't even have to wait till tonight to turn on a ball game, and it was great. Now the games didn't go well.
Not for you. No, they didn't.
They're continuing to go poorly as we speak, but doesn't take away from the fact that there were ball games to watch as early as 1 o'clock this afternoon. I loved that.
Yeah, and those games started at 10:10 my time today. So I've had baseball all day today. It's been great. Yeah. It's been a ton of fun. A relaxing day for me because the Mariners did not play today, and did not have to put that 14-game winning streak on the line. So there's that. Right. But let's get into things. We got some current events, and we've got some games that we want to talk about. So first things first, we talked about Juan Soto Monday night during the Home Run Derby, but I don't think we really had much of a chance to really get into the nitty gritty in the dirt that's going on with this, right? So we talked about how he rejected that deal, $440 million over 15 years. Sounds crazy. Sounds like a crazy person to reject that much guaranteed money. However, first things first, Brig, they're lowballing him.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because he's not going to be a free agent until after the 2023 season. Right? 2023 or 2024. Anyway, he's still got a while before he's a free agent.
Yeah.
And during that time, the market's going to go up.
For sure.
There's no reason for him to sign an extension. And that is a team-friendly deal despite the number.
100% team-friendly. It is.
So that whole thing went down. Juan Soto did say that he was upset that the details of the deal got out. It seems like he wanted to keep things under wrap. This is what he's saying. That he said, I think his words were that he was sad the details got out. I don't know if I buy that.
I'm not buying it.
I'm not
buying it. You're a public figure. You play a very public sport at arguably the most public time in the sports season with the All-Star break. You're participating in the All-Star festivities. This is an opportunity for you to make more headlines and be more a part of the conversation. Get over it. You can't be sad. You're not allowed to be sad about this. So I call BS. I think this was deeply strategic. I don't think anything is being left to chance on anybody's part. And I think that when you're playing at this level, it seems that nothing is taken for granted. So that's why I'm not buying it. Not one bit.
And I could see, and just playing devil's advocate here, I could see him being like, I don't want those numbers up because he doesn't want the public perception of how greedy is this dude, right? Turning down the biggest contract in baseball. I could see that. I can understand that side of it. But also at the same time, he has to know it's going to happen. No matter what he said to the team, hey, I don't want those details coming out. They're like, yeah, okay. Because we're going to look like the good guys here because we offered you plenty of money.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's why I don't buy it. So that being said, I guess he asked for a chartered jet to the All-Star game, and the team said no. He had to fly commercial. Right. He got in at 1:30 a.m. local time and still was able to win the Home Run Derby. So first things first, should the Nats have chartered that jet for him? Do you think that is the team's responsibility, an obligation of the team to do that?
Yes. I think that if you're going there to represent the team, which he is, right? There's one representative minimum from every organization. And the reason for that is because they represent the organization. So if you're there to represent the organization and not just yourself, you're wearing their name on the jersey, not yours. It doesn't say Juan Soto across the chest. I think it's their responsibility to support their player, right? The end.
I totally agree with you. And we actually had a comment on the scheduled live stream post on the Facebook group. This is Stan Polnick. He said, I have a question for everyone. Soto is whining about flying commercial to the All-Star game. Is it the team's responsibility to get him to the All-Star game as part of the basic agreement, like I asked you? And Brig, you said yes. And I'll get to my belief here in a minute. And he said, is a team responsible to pay for all non-All-Stars to fly home during the break? Hard no.
Super nope. Yeah.
No, because what they do when they're not working is up to them.
Yep.
And he said, wondering why guys making millions need to be chartered to an exhibition game. Is it just a courtesy for a team to get its stars to the game in luxury, or is this the Nats way of saying, up yours, pal, $440 million is chicken feed, bite me?
Well, now hold on. I think it's both. I think both are happening here. I think it's both. Right. I think the first thing is that, yes, it is the team's responsibility. I don't think it has anything to do with luxury necessarily. I think that there's an emphasis on that, obviously, but I don't think that's the point. The point is the guy gets selected the All-Star game in the Home Run Derby. He goes. It's your responsibility to get him there. And it shouldn't be, and it should put, here's the thing, it should put him at nothing short. How do I say this? Twisting my words up in my head here. Trying to speak too quickly.
Hold on. Do you mind if I let you think about that for just a minute and I can weigh in?
Yeah, please weigh in.
I think I might be headed down the same path as you. So I feel like he is going to the All-Star game to represent their team, right?
Right.
They have a jet. The team has a jet. The team does not fly commercial anymore. Professional baseball players, Major League Baseball players no longer fly commercial. They fly private.
And we know that because of that documentary we saw.
Right.
With Gary Busey.
Right. But who was using the jet? Was the owner using the jet to go to the All-Star game? Hey, you're going anyway. Take him with you.
Right. Yes. Something.
And maybe have a conversation about what went on. Maybe that's your chance to mend a fence or something. Because this is my thing.
Nothing
happened. Especially Juan Soto, he's your guy. You have to take care of him. Yeah. I don't care if he's flying first class on Arab Emirates or whatever. It's not airline. Nearly as comfortable as flying private.
Here's my thing. It doesn't have anything to do with this idea of luxury. My thing is you need to put him in a position where he is not at a disadvantage. And for him to have
that's
arrived,
what I'm saying. He's got to be comfortable. He's got to be able to stretch his legs out and rest and relax.
That's right. And but just timing alone, everybody knows private jets can, they have different rules. They have different entry points. They have different schedules. They have different, everything's different. So that's my thing, is put your guy in the best possible position to win, to represent your organization as an employee of your organization. Put that employee in the best possible position to best represent your organization. It's really, it's super stupid. This whole thing is ridiculous. It's the same thing with Oakland, right? With, was it Blackburn? He had to get a ride. He had to get a ride with the Houston Astros, who happened to be going, hey, we're going the same direction. You want to come with us?
I know.
And that is insane to me. I made a joke about the wage gap there between the Oakland Baseball Club and the Houston Baseball Club. But the point is, they are not taking care of their club assets, and that's bad business.
It's really petty? Bad business.
Is it petty? Yes. Is it a shot across the bow? Probably. This wasn't some meandering oversight that they turned it over to an intern and somebody just didn't book the flight or whatever. No, this was a decision they made. I don't know. I'm not buying it. I'd love somebody else to weigh in and disagree with me. Change my mind. That's what I say.
No, I think you're absolutely right. It's a cheap ball club just finding another way to save a buck. And it's
stupid.
It's ridiculous. It's absolutely unreal that these teams that make billions of dollars every year with big fat capital B cannot transport a player to the All-Star game. It's
dude, unreal. I'm going to text Samson. I'm going to say, all right, listen, what happened here in your opinion? Because this is something he would have great insight on. Because to me, this just seems like it's a petty, Okay, so they want to fire a shot across the bow. Guess what? Now nobody wants to play in Washington.
Yeah, or Oakland.
Or Oakland.
I mean, they weren't attracting free agents anyway. Now they really won't. But anyway. Let's go ahead and move on. But before we do that, let's talk about this Tuesday. Don't forget to subscribe to The Big Show. You can do that on YouTube or on any podcast platform that you use. Coming up this week, we have a big interview that we're very excited about. We pre-recorded this conversation. You'll notice that by the length of my beard if you watch it on YouTube. We had Jim Edmonds. We talked to Jim Edmonds for a little under an hour, and it was a bunch of fun. I had a ton of fun talking to him. We talked about minor league baseball. We talked about the catch, right? And we even talked to him about baseball fights because it was right after the Mariners and Angels got into it. So we had to talk to him about baseball fights. Yep. So go ahead and subscribe to Baseball Together on every podcast platform available and YouTube, and you will not miss that episode. It's going to be fantastic. Okay.
It was fantastic.
Speaking of missing things, we've had the last few weeks, we've had some players miss some games out on paternity leave.
Yeah.
Right? Now, on Fox Sports Radio, this show is called
Covino and Rich.
Covino and Rich. Yeah.
Covino and Rich.
So Steve Covino, one of the co-hosts. So first context here. Jeff McNeil for the Mets missed a game during a series, or missed a few games. Pretty much missed the entire series, I think, on the restricted list because he was on paternity leave. Now they're addressing this on the show. And Steve Covino said, I don't want to be on the wrong side of this, but I hate this story because I expect my players to be there. It's a big series. You let the fans down.
Yep.
And it sounds like he's not the only one who feels that way about players going on paternity leave, which is
not
unexpected to me because I just thought that everybody would be like, yeah, go be with your family, go be with your wife while she has a baby. Eric Swanson with the Mariners left in the middle of the game a couple weeks ago. When the bullpen was depleted, they really could have used him because his wife was having a baby. And it was like, yeah, go ahead, go do it.
Yeah, totally.
Now, I want to lead with this one, Brig. I'm sorry, but Covino is like way off with this.
He's way off. And hold on, let me jump in.
Go ahead.
To be very clear, the only reason we're talking about this, because this seems like a no-brainer, the only reason we chose to bring it up is because it is apparently not a no-brainer. That's it. Otherwise, This is the dumbest topic in the history of topics for sports talk. Like, this is ridiculous. Does your family come before the game? Yes. The end. Full stop. I'm sorry. If you don't feel that way, then you're codependent and you need to go to rehab.
Well, this is one of the things. One of the things they talked about. They said, if you can miss work for an extended period of time, then your company doesn't need you. And I would actually say the opposite. If you can go an extended period of time in 4 days, come on, 4 days without being at work, you've set up your company for success with your position.
Yes.
You should be able to take vacation time. You should be able to take time off. You should be able to miss because of a family emergency, right? Like, yes, you can plan kind of ish when you have the baby, but at the same time, stuff happens. Yeah. You've got to be able to go when you got to go. And I feel like if the Mets are in trouble because Jeff McNeil is not out in the outfield, they've got bigger problems. And I know they have some injury issues, but I'm sorry, Jeff McNeil is not the most important guy on that team. Him and his knob bat. Have you noticed his like dowel knob on his bat?
The freaking
yes. Chokes up like 6 inches on that thing, and then it's just a dowel.
It's counterweighted.
I guess
it looks like a mace without a chain.
Yes,
it's ridiculous.
Right. But no, like
so dumb.
It's so dumb. Like nobody should be upset with this at all. Mets fans should not have a problem. They should be glad that they're. And in fact, I would be happy my guys getting some time off. Right, take a couple days off. I don't have any problem with that, especially in a 162 game season.
And it's not going to refresh him. It's not because of that. Like physically being in the labor and delivery room with your spouse or partner, and they're delivering a child into this world. That is not a relaxing experience.
Not at all.
For those of you who don't know, even if you do it at home with a doula, we support that. The problem is you're not going to get any sleep, but that's not what it's about. but it's this soul refreshing thing, right? It's this new take on life. And I think during the season, you're so hyper focused, and this happens to everybody everywhere at work, right? You get so fixated on the topic, the task, the team's quarter goals, or whatever you got going on in your professional life, and you lose touch with your family life. Baseball players are no different.
They call baseball wives baseball widows.
Exactly.
They never see their husbands during the season.
Yeah.
So one last thing with this real quick. So if he got 4 days off, I think I took 5 days off when Wilson was born. It took 36-ish hours for him to come. It was like a Wednesday. I want to say it was like we went in on like Sunday or something like that. Or maybe it was Monday because we watched the home run derby. So we went on Monday. And then 24 hours later, we watched the All-Star game, still not here. And then the next morning after that, he was born. So I lost half of my PTO in the labor and delivery room. So give the guy 4 days. Give him a chance to take some time off.
Oh, yeah. It's hilarious. Anyway, I don't know.
All right. So before we keep moving, don't let inflation get you down. We can help you because our prices are staying steady with Patreon.
That's right.
For less than 1 cup of Brig's Bougie Coffee, you can join us on Patreon. You can support the podcast. You can help us get some projects off the ground, starting at $5, going $10 to $15, and you get some swag and some perks and stuff. One of them is the Bullpen Cut, which is the uncut, unedited version of the podcast, and that's going to be really fun this week with the Jim Edmonds interview.
Facts of life, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. Do not miss the unedited version of that conversation. It's just better.
It's so much better. It's so fun. All right, last thing we have to get into the games. Mike Trout is going to be playing in the World Baseball Classic. Could use him if he can be healthy. He's going to be the captain. Are we going to start calling him Captain America, Brig?
No.
Currently on the 10-day IL with rib cage inflammation.
The dude will come back on his shield if we start calling him Captain America. Like, he'll never make it. Or he'll finally play baseball because he's not feeling upset about the team around him and the coaching and the managing and all the whatever else is going on. He'll finally step up to the plate, and it's in March of next year, so he has perfect justification. It's been the off season. He's rehabbed everything. You watch. He plays out of his mind. And then he's injured immediately as soon as the team starts to slide again.
That's what I was going to say, is that he's going to play through the World Baseball Classic, and it's going to be fantastic. He's going to be amazing. But then,
yeah. And then he'll come back and he'll descend to earth and realize that he should have gone to Philly, like I said, like I've been saying forever. He should have gone to Philly.
Yeah.
He should have hung out with his buddy in Philly, and that would have been the most dynamic outfield since freaking Murderer's Row.
Yeah. Well, and the Phillies would not be having the conversations that they've been having this season about.
No, about and Trout wouldn't be hurt this much.
I think you're right. All right, let's get into the baseball games for the weekend. We have a bunch. So, in fact, tonight on ESPN, because ESPN's like, oh, there's nothing else on, let's do some baseball. So, the Giants at the Dodgers. This game started just a little bit ago, right? Or is about to start soon.
It's 10 o'clock. Yeah, it starts in 10 minutes.
About 10 minutes.
They're warming up
the Giants at the Dodgers. The Dodgers have a chance to bury the Giants in the standings. If they can sweep this series and then push them even farther back in the wild card and cement their dominance in their division, that would be a really, really big deal. Super big deal.
I agree. Well, and what's interesting is I was looking at the standings, was it today going into the game in Houston with the Yankees in Houston. And really, when it comes to win-loss records, the numbers aren't that bad. If you look at Houston, New York, both clubs in New York, but Houston, New York, and LA together, they all look really good. Everybody was like, oh, the Yankees are the best team in baseball, but they've only 4 games up on Houston as of today. And then if you jump over to the National League, the freaking Mets are at 58 games and the Dodgers are 60 games as well. So this whole like magical Yankees thing, I feel like is in trouble a little bit, not because they're not the best team in baseball on paper, because they are on paper, but something is happening and some of these other teams are catching up, and it's going to get hairy.
Yeah. The gap is closing rapidly. The Giants in their last 10. The Giants have played well lately. They're 7-3 in their last 10, but the Dodgers continue to play better, 9-1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
12 and a half games back. The Giants are 12 and a half games back.
I think that's the Dodgers series. Okay, Friday night on Apple TV, we have the Cubs at the Phillies. The Phillies. This game's at 7 p.m. Eastern time. The Phillies would like to create some space between themselves and the Giants this weekend for the wild card, because
for the wild card.
Because the Phillies have that third spot, and the Giants, like I said, are trying to get in there. The Phillies are in, so they are just trying to hold serve, right? But the Phillies need to create some space. And then really they've got to keep pace with, like I said, the Padres, the Braves, and the Cardinals in the wild card race as well.
Yep.
So it's really tight in the National League. I think it will continue to be tight the rest of the season because these teams seem to have figured out who they are. And the Braves have a chance to catch the Mets, but
we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm feeling less confident than I was before on that one.
Yeah. So the other thing with
games.
Yeah, so the other thing with this one is the Phillies have been pretty average the last 10 games, 6-4, but the Cubs have been terrible, 1-9. So this is a good series.
There it goes again.
Here goes Briggs' chair. So the Cubs are 1-9 in their last 10. There's a good chance for the Phillies to make up some ground there. All right, let's go to the second game on Apple TV Friday night. The Guardians at the White Sox. This is an interesting one because I was kind of one of those ones where I was like, why? And then I was like, oh, okay, because they're not too far back of the Twins, either one of these teams.
Yeah, it's true. Yep.
It's kind of like with this, it's like when you're playing Phase 10 and you get to 7 cards of one color and you have a handful of 5 cards, or like of 5 of each color. You know what I'm talking about?
No. In fact, I know I didn't even want to talk about Phase 10 ever again. You touched my dark spot. I don't want to go there. Back off. You want to fight about it?
Well, anybody who's played Phase 10 knows what I'm talking
about.
Nobody
plays Phase 10.
Game's dead.
And maintains relationships with people that they care about.
Okay.
Same with Monopoly, by the way.
The Guardians are 46-44. The White Sox are 46-46, which I feel like is pretty good compared to like how they were a couple weeks ago, because it was looking pretty bad. And then you've got the Twins at 50-44. Not that big of a gap. That's 2 games for the Guardians, 3 games for the White Sox.
Yep.
So
facts of life
get sticky for the Twins. The Guardians are 6-4. Sorry, go ahead.
All of those teams have to win the division. None of them are wild card contenders. None of them.
Right. You're right.
That's what's interesting about this, is that there's no chance to sneak in. You either take it all or nothing.
Yep. Exactly right. For sure. The Guardians are 6-4 in their last 10. The White Sox are 7-3 in theirs. Let's move on to Saturday. A whole lot of baseball on TV on Saturday.
Yeah.
The national games. FS1 has the Astros and my Mariners.
This is big.
This is huge.
This is so big.
So, obviously, I'm nervous going into this series, right, Brig?
You should be.
Because it's
what I saw today.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. The Astros came out of the break refreshed and ready to go.
And just beat the snot out of the Yankees.
And they have Verlander and Urquidy. And did Vasquez go today?
No.
Yeah, that's a problem. That's going to be trouble. So
unless
is going on Friday.
Unless he went
Saturday.
Well, I haven't been watching
Valdez.
the last few minutes.
Valdez is going on Sunday. So that's trouble. That's going to be tough. But I will say this: the Mariners are 6-6 against the Astros this season, and they're playing in Seattle, which has the last 2 seasons has been a major advantage. 3 games could really take 2 out of 3, and then just chip away, right? Just chip away at that.
You need 2 out of 3 for sure. If they don't win 2 out of 3, it's going to be tougher to do anything.
Yep, it will be. And I worry that it would set the tone for the rest of the second half, because the stretch where they've won 14 games in a row has been a really weak schedule. So it's like, oh, they can beat up on who they're supposed to, but they can't beat the good teams, right?
Bro, yeah, that's exactly
fear
right
that I'm having.
Well, and that's the problem that I had watching the Yankees lose both both games of the day-night doubleheader today now, as the game's over, is that they were outclassed. I'm sorry. The Yankees were outclassed today. Houston just literally just played way better baseball. And they laid down 2 bunts back to back.
Yeah, I was gonna say back-to-back bunt singles. Not even the second wasn't even a sack bunt. It was a bunt single.
They just pushed it. Seriously. So the first one was Jose Altuve. He squoze it right up the first baseline, beat it out. Nobody could do anything with it. Then Rizzo's literally on the grass because he's the most fearless first baseman ever. They made that comment today on the live broadcast, but it's true. He was literally playing as far up as he could. It wasn't even holding Altuve on first base. And then the guy bunted it up the third baseline, and nobody could do anything about it. I was like, what is happening?
It's trouble,
and then they went back-to-back with home runs. Oh, dude, no. They manhandled, honestly.
Yeah, that's trouble. And yeah, I'm concerned going into this. I don't think that the win streak is going to make it through the weekend, but it's a matter of like the state of winning after this weekend is the big question. Okay, let's move on. We got Rangers and A's. This game is at 9 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday. Just watch it if you don't have anything else going on. It's the only game that's starting in its time slot, but at the same time, there will be other games going on. Both teams are 4-6 in their last 10. Neither team is good, so just maybe don't. It's fine. We won't be offended.
I will be ignoring
because we have nothing to do with it.
I'm not going to watch it.
And before that on Fox, we have 7 p.m. Eastern. We have the Giants and Dodgers. Also, the Guardians at White Sox. That's you're going to check your local listings for that.
That's a good one.
Yeah. We talked about those teams already. Let's go to Sunday. Wake up in baseball, Brig, on Peacock. Cubs at Phillies. So I feel like the national broadcasts have picked like 3 series to show this entire weekend, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've already gone through all of them, Cubs and Phillies. By then, I bet the Phillies I bet they've split at this point.
What do you mean?
They split. I don't think the Phillies sweep this series. I'm calling
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
They should, but they're not going to.
They're gonna blow one of them because that's what happens with the Phillies bullpen these days.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. It's the bullpen.
And then Sunday night, ESPN, the Padres at the Mets. This will be a good one.
Must watch baseball. This is much watch. But I don't know who's taking the mound for the Mets that day, but if it's Scherzer, you definitely got to watch.
Yeah, let me see if I can find out. See who the Mets have as their probables going into Sunday. I've got
it's a little far out, but
Joe Musgrove and Carlos Carrasco for the Mets. I'd still watch that one. That's going to be a good matchup.
Yeah,
that'll be a really good game. The Padres hold a 2-game cushion in the wild card. The Mets are, as Briggs said, holding on to a 2.5 game lead over the Braves, who play the Angels this weekend. So the Braves should be making up some ground on the Mets, at least 1 or 2 games.
No issues. They're 6 games up in the wild card right now. The Braves are. So
yeah,
if they beat the Mets, let's just say they overtake the Mets in the event that the Mets lose 30 games to San Diego and Atlanta wins every game in Anaheim, then the Mets will have a 6-game cushion still in the wild card. So
yeah.
5 games, 6 games, something like
I'm
that.
not concerned about them missing the playoffs. Like I think they'll still make it as a wild card or the division winner. The question now is, are they going to win that division despite having had that huge lead that they had earlier? That's the issue.
Yep. So, well, and right now, honestly, I'm not going to say that. Don't let me say that.
Okay. All right. Then we'll get on with it. Don't forget to get your sunflower seeds. Head over to ChinookSeedery.com. Brig, did you have some sunflower seeds today? I did.
Oh, absolutely. I found some more Parman Pep.
You're getting low.
I'm getting super low, but I found some more Parman Pep.
I was munching on dill pickle today. They're fantastic. Head over to ChinookSeedery.com and put in code BTPod at checkout. Get 10% off your order and help the podcast. I'm wearing my Chinook Seedery shirt tonight because it is soft and cozy. Heck, get yourself a t-shirt too if you want to.
Yeah, get yourself a t-shirt. You get 10% off that too.
Yeah, exactly right. And if you want to get one of our t-shirts, where do you head, Brig?
9plusus.com or baseballtogether.com and toggle the shop either way. But I'm wearing my Baseball is for Lovers t-shirt because it sure enough is all y'all. All y'all know that's true. Come on now.
That's
yeah,
right.
you can get this Baseball is for Lovers t-shirt. It's part of our pop culture collection, of which there are many, many other options in that collection and more. So, but yeah, like Brad said earlier, our prices have stayed the same, and we're not going to increase with inflation because we don't have to.
That's right. That's
and we
exactly
love you.
Right. Yeah. Don't forget to like, subscribe, rate, and review. Subscribe on YouTube or wherever you listen to the podcast. Rate and review wherever you can. I think Apple Podcasts is probably the best place you can do that. But baseball family, thank you again for joining us for this Thursday Night Live. Enjoy the games this weekend, and we will catch you next week.